Mike, tell us what pleased you most about that today.
Well, I just thought that for the first game of the year, really, and we've only played with Bryce and Isaac Humphries one other game. We just haven't had a lot of court time and actually game time together. That, it's hard to get a win in this league. I have a ton of respect for the league and for Brisbane, and for us to, still get the win. And I just feel like there's just so many more positives, and we got a long way to go, and we can get a whole bunch better and clean things up. And I thought you saw, obviously, Bryce's points, but, I thought my other guys that were leaders, and Isaac Humphries did an outstanding job with low, shot attempts and stuff, and Tyrell Harrison, who's a really hard guard, had 7 points the second half, and I thought Ice hung in there with a few fouls and then used them appropriately, and, the same thing with Zylan. 14 rebounds, and I thought he got better on the defensive end as the game went. There was a big ATO there in the fourth where we hit him on a flash, and he got Bryce on a backdoor play and got an easy bucket out of a timeout. And then DJ. DJ didn't score a bunch of points, but, man, he hung in there. He was positive during timeouts. Everybody had a role and a piece, and I just think that there's a really good foundation and a long way to go, and I feel really good about it.
Mike, in this game, Casey Prather and Jalen Adams are two of the players that Sixers have had the most trouble guarding over recent years, and you saw it firsthand last year as well.
You trying to bring up my PTSD?
No,
what are you trying to do to me? It's only first game of the year.
I know, Mike, but also
nice. Look at this guy's going at.
See it.
Going right for the nerve.
Your recruitment of Zylan Cheatham into this team has obviously alleviated that a lot in terms of, especially the Prather matchup. It was a good matchup to watch this afternoon. What do you make of Zylan's game?
Yeah, well, I think Zylan's going to be matched up on a lot of really good fours in the league. I think if you look at everybody's roster, their four is an outstanding player, and this was round one, and I think Zylan really, really helps us in a lot of different ways there with that matchup, right? He plays 4 and 5, and he bounced around out there a little bit for us. But, yeah, he did an outstanding job. I mean, I just 14 rebounds, 5 assists, and only 5 shot attempts. He didn't force anything. He didn't look for it. And I thought his rebounding down the stretch, he's 2 and 3 feet above everybody else to go get the rebound with 2 hands, and then him and Bryce just sort of teaming it up was exceptional.
Bryce, a great way to announce yourself to the league once again in this new club, new colours, obviously. How did it feel for you out there? Did it feel like just putting on an old pair of shoes and going to work again?
It felt good. Like Mike touched on, I haven't really been playing with the team a lot in the preseason. So with this being the second game out, but knowing, this is finally the real deal, was just super excited to be out there because I know how many weapons we have. And, in theory, as the season goes on, you would think we're only going to continue to get better at utilizing our weapons. But to learn on a winning note, I'll take that any day of the week.
We saw in that Panathinaikos game, the exhibition game, you and Isaac Humphries together is going to be something that's worth watching this year. Are you just looking forward to getting that chemistry together and working together on those actions and that? Because we're certainly enjoying watching the early part of it. I mean, there's still so much improvement to go in that area, reading each other as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think the big thing about the group, you take what happens on the court aside, everybody gets along. And I think when you have something like that on a team, which isn't always common in professional sports, it's easier for the chemistry to gel in a much quicker span of time. So, that's what we're hoping happens in this case.
Yeah, really great segue. The improvement in the culture and the vibe is something that's really important. I kind of want both of your opinions because I'd love to, you touched on it now, and I'd love to know how you're enjoying it. But Coach Mike, I'd love to know how you're feeling. You came in very jolly. I don't think I've ever seen you that jolly after a game. Is it feeling good so far?
It's game one, so yeah, it's going to be smiles anytime you get a win. There's so much work that we put in every week. So to see it pay off in the way you would like, that's the time to smile for tonight. And then, by tomorrow, all that wears off and then it's back to work.
But does it make it easier to show up each day, though?
It shouldn't. because at the end of the day, there's going to be highs, there's going to be, lows or in-betweens, and you got to approach the work the same way every time. Otherwise, you're not mentally strong enough to handle what comes with this job.
I would say what you saw was me exhaling. You prep and you prep and you're worried about all these combinations, and we have so many new faces. I think we've got 8 new players, and you haven't really played. Panathinaikos plays way different than anybody else in our league, and you just want to get a game, and what I saw was just a whole bunch of positives, even though there were a bunch of breakdowns or this and that, because it's there's correct and teach and all those moments for a coach to, then go to practice. I really enjoyed the fact we got everybody into the game kind of early, in our rotation. I think we got 10 in the first half, which I kind of wanted to get guys set in the game, to get them back in the second half and try to have positive minutes. And you're looking at different combinations. There were different lineups where Z's at a 4, and then he's a 5, and who is Matt Kenyon out there, and Michael Harris out there, is Flynn out there, it's Isaac White and Bryce. It's DJ, and there's so many different combinations that we're just trying to get sort of synced up, and you want to play against other people. It's one thing in practice. It's hard in times in practice when everybody knows what you're running or what you're doing or what your defense is. There were things that came up in the game, and I was like, oh, gosh, we got to cover that more. So after that, I love the fact that we kind of grinded through the first half, and everybody was super positive, and then we came out and we won the third quarter 29-20. That was really, really important for me. Bryce was right here in the huddle, let's do it. I think good teams can do that. There was some really positives about us taking control and then getting a 15-point lead. It's hard to get up to 15. Yeah, okay. They made a run and they did some things down the stretch, but there was a bunch of positives there. And, you want to go 15, you want to push it up. They made a little run back, and the bottom line is we got the win. And now we can teach and correct and get ready for Thursday.
You're under a little bit of pressure in the sense that the team's been assembled and everyone looks at it and goes, wow, 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 they're going to win the whole thing this team. Does that bother you as a coach?
I don't even think about it, to be honest with you. I think that I'm really glad that everybody has talked about the Adelaide 36ers in a positive light the last 4 months. I've had multiple people come up to me that have been season ticket holders since the late 80s that have talked about it's the only time that they've remembered an off season where the media's talked positive about us. We're trying to change the culture. We tried to bring in a whole bunch of new guys and change some things, and it got sped up because Bryce said, yeah, I'd like to come to Adelaide. And I love it. We've got really good high character guys. I keep telling everybody we got high IQ, high character guys. It's a joy to go to work with them. I think that we can get so much better. I'm not really worried about where all that is. This is game 1 on a 33-game journey. And you saw me exhale when I came in here, and then I'll go home tonight and I'll start thinking about Cairns because we need to be here and we just need to grow. And I always talk about, 1% better, and we want to be the best versions of ourselves at the end of the year. You've heard me say that thing. That's all true. But there was a lot of positives with basically only having 2 bigs tonight. Zylan and Ice were the only 2 bigs, and we played small, and we mixed and matched against some really big guys. So we'll take the positives and move on.
And so, do you have to coach differently when you have arguably the greatest player to ever play in a league in your team for the first?
He doesn't let me coach, guys. It's a problem already. No, I love being around great players. I think everybody wants to be around great players. Like in the NBA, you want great players. And I've said, I don't want to sit up here and give him a big head or anything like that, right? But, we have a group of players that know how to play in this league. We have, that have a ton of NBL experience, and they know the way this league is. And it's hard to win a game by 7 points or 10 points or 15 points. So, us getting better and us timing it, when I want to see us in the fourth quarter and we get up 15, do I want to see us go 18 or 20? Yes. We didn't do it tonight. but we will like work on that execution. And when the game does slow down over the last 6 minutes, because you don't want to play fast as much when you got a 15-point lead, now we have to execute and you have to grind and you got to get on the same page. And we really weren't sure what to get to at a few things, and they started blitzing him or they started hitting him, and those are all things that we got to get used to. So, you know, like, I think it's great. You know, the ball has gravity, great players have gravity, us getting used to playing with each other, and then getting easy baskets out of it is part of the process and the journey. And then defensively, it's kind of the same thing. Us keep communicating, us getting them off the three-point line, us taking the fouls at the right time. And then, you know, Zylan and Ice, the way they controlled the basket and, you know, and the rim in the second half was really important for us. And, you know, to hold Harris in the 7. And I don't think Towie Smith got the open threes. I don't remember one. But, you know, there's all these things that where our defense did set and get better as the game went.
Bryce, the first.
Usually, I think this is the 22nd game in a row it's been sold out at Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Usually, you're not in the 36ers uniform. But how did it feel tonight being in favour with the fans?
Yeah, I mean, it was great. Obviously, there's been a lot of buzz about the season for the last few months. So it was good to kind of just, I guess, get it over and done with, you know, and see, you know, what the fuss is about. But we wanted to be sure we came out and gave the crowd some energy and give them something to cheer about. And for the majority of the game, I feel we did that.
Adelaide fans didn't boo you in the past, did they?
I can't remember. I'm
I can.
fuzzy now.
Bryce, I wanted to ask you, the first 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes of the game, you didn't see a lot of the ball. It was almost like you were sizing up what was going. Was that by design, or was that taking something away from you? Was that your plan going into the game, or was that just the way it unfolded? I mean, you finished with 15 at quarter time, but the first 2 minutes, it wasn't like the last 8 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was a conscious thing. Like, I'm big on, you know, just trusting the flow of the game. So I don't go into a game predicting anything because no 2 games are the same. But I take what the defense gives me. And if they're going to play defensively and give me excessive attention, you know, then we can play, you know, basketball that doesn't have to involve me. But when I get some good looks, I'll take it. You know, when I don't have good looks, I won't shoot.
So I guess you've sort of answered the next question. 39 is the most by a player ever in their first game for any team in the history of 40-minute basketball here. So did you have not a number, but I guess your goal going was as long as we get the win, that's fine. But did you have anything in your mind of what you wanted to achieve apart from getting the win tonight?
Just being in attack mode, honestly. Me and Mike have had a lot of conversations, especially in the preseason. But I just wanted to be sure I was aggressive, and that's not necessarily meaning to shoot the ball. But when I'm in attack mode, I know I draw a lot of attention, which can free up shots for other players. But, you know, having those reactive skills, if I'm aggressive and I have a shot, I got to be quick enough to know that's mine to take or when it's not.
And they face guarded DJ the whole time, guys. Like, one reason DJ's shot attempts were down is they had somebody over there, and like DJ just taking somebody out, and then us figuring out where to place DJ and use that accordingly and stuff. And we eventually got to it, but you know, they just took one of their young fellas and said, okay, you're face guarding him. So, you know, us getting used to that kind of attention and stuff. And I thought Bryce really let the game come to him, right? We tried to get him the ball in the very first play and they trapped it. And then after that, you know, we went a few minutes there where we just kind of played, you know, and then all of a sudden you started to see us get into a rhythm, right? So I think those things are all going to happen, and it kind of worked out.
Any other questions? Thank you.